Release the Kraken!
Welcome back, fellow game designers. In our last video, we went ahead and created the legs for Jill. And in this one, we're going to make her arm. So, let's get started. I'm going to jump over into my polygon menu, and let's add on a cylinder. Let's go ahead and move that mostly into position here. So, if I go into my front view, you can kind of see that Jill is in what's called an A pose. That means her arms are down at her side. And that's not ideal for animation. Ideally, you'd want her arm to be in a T pose, but we will make do with what we have. So let's go ahead and line up our cylinder here. I'm going to go to my poly settings here, and let's adjust this so that the radius kind of matches the arm. I think that's pretty good. And then for the height, I'm going to zoom out a little bit, middle mouse and drag. I think that's pretty good for the height, right about to the wrist there. Just a bit more and I'll move it up. That's good, but for the number of subdivisions, we have to take a look. So I'm going to go into my perspective view, select my model here, and actually I'll go ahead and just turn this off by hitting H. So select it, hit H, and here is our model. We actually have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 connecting points. But when we connect the hand, we actually need a few extra. So we're going to make this 10 connecting points. To do that, I'm going to go up to my multi-cut tool and grab that. Hold down the control key and then insert on my upper part of the arm. That looks pretty good. And then I'm going to remove the faces in the middle. So let's go up to our symmetry selection and set object X. I'll hit Q and then go into face selection. And go ahead and just grab these. It's good on either side. I'll hit delete. So now we have a hole. Alright, let's grab our cylinder. I'll hit H to unhide. Go to my poly cylinder settings and drop this down to 10 connections. That should be good. Let's go back to our front view. And I will get my multi-cut tool. First up, I want to put a cut around the elbow. Let me turn off symmetry. And I'll come into here and I'll put a cut right about there. I think that's pretty good. I'm going to do one above the elbow. You can see on the arm, the bicep kind of bends in to the elbow. So we're going to put a cut about where that happens, but this is at an angle. So I'm going to visually just do it about here so that it's straight. Again, I can hold down the shift key as I middle mouse and drag to straighten that out. I'll also put a cut below the elbow, right about there. That looks good. Then I'm going to come down here to the wrist, go into vertex selection. I'll grab these vertices, and I will move this up. About here I think is pretty good. Go ahead and middle scale. I'll scale that down like that. Looks pretty good. You can see that the arm actually bends out a little bit as it gets to the elbow. So we have the bend out here, which is good, but we need to add one right here. So I'll grab that and then middle scale. That looks good. And then up here for the bicep, let's get my multi-cut tool. I'll put a cut in for the bicep. We want this to bend out. So I will middle scale outward to get her some bicep. Then I'm going to come up above the bicep, right about here. I think I'll move that a little bit higher. So I'll go up a little bit, grab that, go up a little bit. And then I'm going to put in a spot for the upper arm. So shift, and then middle mouse drag. And I'll bulk this out. It's pretty good. And I'll adjust these a little bit more. Maybe take that in. Like that. I think that's good. Yeah, now I've been working pretty much exclusively in the front. We need to also take a look at the side. So right off the bat here, you can see the arm is very, very symmetrical. So I'm going to come over to the elbow And in this elbow area, we want to really define the back of the arm into the elbow, and we want to flatten off the forearm. So up here, this section actually gets flatter. If you look here, you can see that happening. So we're going to flatten this off. And then back here on the elbow, I'll get that bicep. Or technically this is the tricep. Go ahead and pull that back. And let's move some of these as well. I want to put an extra cut here. That's just going to make life easier for when we're attaching the arm. So middle mouse drag. Okay. Grab these. Even that out. Grab those, pull these. Okay, let's take a look from the perspective. I'm going to go to my front view. Let's just take a look at all of our things. Let me go ahead and just readjust some of these. I think this part can be up a little bit higher. Move this back some. There we go. Okay, now let's go ahead and move this so that it is in the correct position. So I'm going to go into Object Selection. Grab my rotation tool, hold down the J key, and rotate. I'll move that out. Let's make sure it lines up with the body. Up here is pretty good. Maybe a little bit higher. I like that. And I will move this a little bit closer. Let's check the center alignment. So I'll go into the side view. The body is about here. You can see there's a hole. So I'll grab this one, move that back. Sometimes the top view is a little bit easier. So let's take a look here. Looks good. All right. And now we want to attach this, but we need to get rid of the faces on this side and this side. So I'll show you a bit of a trick. If I go into face selection, I can select these and delete them, but if I go in and just select the whole model real quick, so select all of that, and then I use the Control key to do a drag select through, I can deselect. Now what that does is it leaves my other selection intact, so that's still there. It's pretty handy. And we press delete. Yay. Let's go into Object Selection, grab both pieces. We'll hit the Combine tool. So now that they're bound, we can sew them together. So I get my Target Weld tool. And let's sew the body to the arm. So to orient myself a little bit better, I'll go to the top. You look, we have a center to center. That's a good starting point. So centerpiece to centerpiece. And again, I'm going from body to arm. Body to arm. Body to arm. If you make a mistake, you can always Control Z. There we go. I'll get this one to the next one. This one to the next one. And I'll just keep on going. Yeah. Not bad at all. Alright. So now that's attached, we're going to want to clean up this area. So let's add in an extra cut here. I'll get my multi-cut tool. Hold Control. I'll add a cut right about here. That looks pretty good. But now we're going to smooth this area out. So I'm going to go into Object Selection. And let's clear this up. So Edit, Delete by Type, History. And let's make sure we're saving our work. We have not yet updated our file, so I'm going to go up to File, Save As. So I'll go ahead and save this. It's going to be version 4. Okay. And now let's go into our sculpting tools. So sculpt, come over to the smooth object. So you can see that it's kind of smooth at the top and jagged at the bottom. Go ahead and click that. Will take us into smooth mode. You can hold down the B key and left click and drag to change your brush size. You can also adjust everything inside your tool palette. So if I open up tools here, you can see what we have. We have a size of 5. I've got a strength of 5. You can adjust this however you like. I wouldn't go too extreme because then you'd get some really weird stuff happening. Okay. I'm going to drop this down to maybe, let's do 5. And I'll drop that down to 5. Okay. Now watch. When I go ahead and click on the model, I'm going to smooth out an area. That's pretty good. I'll smooth this out. Take my brush down a little bit. I get into the arm here. I'll just smooth this. You can see how that pulls and tries to even out toward the body. It's looking pretty good. Again, just get up here. Look at that. Yeah, not too bad. All right, let's go ahead and get our arm on the other side of the body. So I go to my front view. And I'm going to go into face selection, grab half the body. Just double check, make sure you got it. Delete. And I will take this, go into object mode, go up to mesh, mirror, get the box, double check our settings. So we want to turn off cut, keep copy, keep world, keep X, come down to combine with original, make sure that's checked, and then hit mirror. And there we go. We have an arm on either side. Legs are done. And the next one, we will make the hand. So save your work, and I shall see you next time. Hey guys, thank you for checking out my channel. Misty and I both thank you. If you enjoyed that video you just watched, make sure you hit that like button and subscribe. Or if you want to support the channel, check me out on Patreon or pick up one of my books, Life and Times of Dinah Marton or The Guardian's Path of Ascension. Speaking of which, I'm converting The Guardians into a graphic novel / comic book series. Here is a sneak peek. My wonderful artist, Patrick, is doing a great job. I'm excited. I want to push this out as soon as possible. So definitely keep your ears and eyes open for that. I'll be making announcements as we get closer, and I'll post some shots of that as we go. And if you want to follow me on social media, you can check me out on Twitter. I guess now it's X. Who does that? It's BruceRF1 at Twitter, or at whatever the new thing for Twitter is. Anyway, hopefully see you there, and I'll see you guys next time.